You see, in Ghana, they have 276 members in their parliament. 41 of them are women. You see, Rwanda, they have female majority in their parliament with 63.75% in their chamber of deputies, which is like, Nigerian House of Representatives. And that's against the men's 36.25%. Meanwhile, Nigerian Senate, 109, and we have only 4 women. You see, this is a big joke. Nigeria's political season in preparation for 2027 is fast, approaching. And a lot of people who might be asking, how prepared are women to take their rightful place in Nigeria's political space? In light of the recent, drama between Senator Natasha Akpoti, and the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio. Now, in this video, I'm just going to speak on this all-important, topic based on the not so positive, trend I have observed in recent times in the way that the political landscape, has been, and how these trends will not change if women keep allowing it to happen, giving male politicians the power to allow women at the table only if they want you to be there. Now, many wonder why in 2022, all bills that seem to promote the cause of women were all thrown out at the House of Representatives. Yes, and one of them is the 35% affirmative action for women. And this bill was supposed to see that 35% of political appointment position were strictly reserved for women. And this bill was dropped at the House of Representatives. Why? Because women don't have the numbers to push it. So it still comes back to number. It's a numbers game. Now to what I observed, and that is the reason for this video, and how they have been using women against each other. This is what I have observed in this political, drama that has happened in recent times. Now let's start with Honorable Natasha Akpoti's case. Now, when that problem between Natasha and the Senate President started, the first set of people who came to criticize her were women. Women were used to start criticizing her first. First, it was Senator Ireti Kingibe, a woman. And then we have this House member of House of Representatives, Honorable Kafila Togbara. And then former Senator Abiodun Olujimi was on a rise again, was against her. And then former Senator Florence Itagiwa was also on a rise TV against her. All this while, we really have not seen, the men have not started speaking, But for Senator Florence Itagiwa's case, it was more or less that, you see, once you are able to find a way to the Senate, you match them boot for boot. If they are there, you don't show any sign of weakness. That was what she was trying to say. That don't show any sign of weakness. If they look at you, you look at them. If they enter that room, you enter. When they sit down, you sit down. When they talk, you talk. They look at you, you look at them. Just don't show sign of weakness. So what she said wasn't bad. What Senator Florence Itagiwa said wasn't bad. She was not in support of her, but she was saying that the kind of criticism she was giving to her, that she shouldn't show the sign of weakness, because once you're there, it's like it's a dog-eat-dog, a place dominated by men, so you don't have to show any sign of weakness. Yeah. So you see, all these are women. Now let's now go to the time for her recall, when they planned that fake recall of Natasha. It's a woman that they placed at the front, Charity Jesomole. She was the one, they were strategic in placing her at the front. The men were at the back, just like using a woman to fight a woman. They were strategic in using a woman against a woman. And then when the planned recall failed, they went to another woman, Dr. Sandra Musa. That's the woman who is now saying now again, I don't know, she holds one position in Kogi State. She's now saying that they're going to start another recall the second time. Another woman. The men are just at the background, just talking, but they will place a woman at the front to fight another woman. Now let's go to the state of emergency declared in River State. Although the person who was removed is a man, Fubara, Governor Sim Fubara is a man, but all the protests that they have been used, they just use women to do the dirty work. That is, they just use women to do the dirty work. All the protests that they have been having in River State, women, whether the protest is in support of Fubara or against Fubara, they are all using women. The one that they did first was support of Fubara. These were the women. And then another set of women, this time those who are against Governor Fubara. You see the pattern here. Women using women, just using women, using women. Even when it's a man's case, it's a man that was removed, they're still using women. And you know what it means? Forget the man now. They're now using women for and women against to protest. So indirectly, those women are already against each other. Are we not seeing the game these men, when it comes to politics, where they play? And this strategy is just to keep all of us out. Women. Because then they make it, they are the first to always shout that women, we don't support each other. It's always women against women. But they always find a way to come in and use us against each other. Now, let's also go back to when Akpabio's case with Natasha started. Apart from the women who were speaking, or the senators who were on TV speaking, the ones who were doing the footwork, that the ones who were protesting for Akpabio, they were still using women to protest in support of Akpabio against Natasha. Look at the pattern here. They are just using women. Meanwhile, when it gets to the place to put you in position, they will remember that you're a woman. But when it's time for them to use you, they will use a woman to fight a woman. That's what they do. And I don't know when we are going to realize this. When it's time to fight a woman, they will take women of middle age, 49, 50, 60, but they will all be on the street protesting against a fellow woman. When they want to use men to protest against a woman, they will use women. They will use the youth, boys of a certain age in their 20s or early 30s, to protest against a woman. You can never see men of like middle age of 45, 50, 60 protesting. They always use women. If they want to use men, they'll go for the younger ones. But if they want to use our women, they'll go for the ones in their late 40s, 50s, 60s to protest against a fellow woman. Or are we going to talk about Dr. Sandra Duru, a US-based psychologist also known as Professor Mbeki? Now, she launched an attack against Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan She accused Natasha that Natasha attempted to lure her to attack Senator Godswill Akpabio. So they've been using women against women. It's not today. You see, in Nigerian politics, women's role has always been limited right from time immemorial. And you see, this minute you say, okay, there is hope. Women are growing in politics. You see, it's getting better. The next minute, there is a sharp decline. It's even worse in this Tinubu's administration. And that was rightly, pointed out by a journalist I respect so much, I admire her so much, Kadiria Ahmed. She pointed us out.
We are regressing, frankly. And the thing is, I'm actually shocked that this regression is happening under President Ahmed Tinubu, because traditionally he has been somebody who sort of championed women in politics, including his wife, who he sort of encouraged and pushed to go and sit in the Nigerian Senate. So both their reactions have been shocking to me, and I'm wondering why that is. I mean, Mrs. Tinubu, I don't even want to dwell on, because in many ways she doesn't have the power. But the president has the power to basically signal that he will not accept this sort of behavior, particularly because we're talking about a president who is from his party. And in many ways, whether we like it or not, he's the leader of the APC. And I say this because I also happen to know that when distinguished Senator Natasha was denied her ticket, and she went to the courts and won her case so that she could take her rightful place in the Senate, I happen to know people ran to President Tinubu to try and get him to intercede with the courts to scuttle this, and he's absolutely said no. He said, no, she won her elections, let her take her rightful seat. So to go from that to this deafening silence, because he's been silent.
Since the history of politics in Nigeria, a woman has never been president, of course. A woman has never been vice president. A woman has never been a Senate president. The only time that a woman was the Speaker of the House of Representatives, I'm talking about Right Honorable Patricia Ite. She was the Speaker from the 6th of June 2007 to 30th of October 2007. But that woman was practically disgraced out of that position. Why? It was alleged that she authorized 228 million, naira to renovate her apartment and that of her deputy. And that time, that was equivalent to $5 million in 2007. So she was in office for roughly 4 months, and then she was removed. Although a lot of people said she was set up or she was framed, whatever it was, but that is a conversation for another day. Yeah. So that is the only time a woman, 2007, a woman has been speaker. Ever since, no woman has been speaker anymore. Now let's go to woman being a governor. The only time we got close to something like that was in Anambra State. The then deputy governor, Dame Virgie Etiaba, she was the deputy governor to Governor Peter Obi at that time. And then she was sworn in when Peter Obi was impeached. So she was sworn in, and then she was a governor for roughly 3 months, when before the appeal court, reinstated Peter Obi, and then she, went back to her position as a deputy. So that is the only time we got close to, a woman being a governor in Nigeria. So people kind of referred to her as the first woman to be governor in Nigeria. Yes, you can say that, but we have not, technically gotten a woman who was duly elected as a governor in Nigeria. So for now, we're just, leaving her in that position because no other person. Once, anytime we have somebody elected as a female governor in Nigeria, then they will take over her position as the first duly elected governor. But for now, they give her that, respect as the first governor a female governor in Nigeria. Now to State House of Assembly female speakers. And now we've had quite a few, precisely 9 speakers across the country since Nigeria returned to civilian rule in 1999. And they are Right Honorable Margaret Ichen of Benue State. She served as the first female speaker from 1999 to 2003. Next, we have Eucharia Azodo. That's the first female speaker of Anambra State. She served in 2003. Following right after, also in Anambra State, the second female speaker, Chinwe Nwaebile. She was speaker in 2011. Anambra State again had a third female speaker, that's Mrs. Rita Maduago. That was in 2015. Anambra is the only state that have had, female speakers 3 good times. That's a good one. Now, next, we have Right Honorable Titi Osini. Now, she served as the first and only female speaker as an up till now in Ogun State, and she served from 2003 to 2008. Next, we have Monsuratu Jumoke Sumono of Oyo State. Now, she served as the first female speaker elected in June 2011. That's for Oyo State. Now, let's move over to Ondo State. We have Mrs. Jumoke Akindele. She was elected as the first female speaker of Ondo State House of Assembly in May 2014. Now, in Ekiti State, we have Right Honorable Olubumi Adeluba. Now, she was appointed Speaker of the Ekiti State House of Assembly in 2022. She was like the first female speaker in Ekiti State House of Assembly. And then recently, we have Right Honorable Mojisola Miranda of Lagos State. Now, she came in as the Speaker in January 13, 2005, after the lawmakers impeached the then Speaker, Honorable Mudashiru Obasa. She was deputizing for Mudashiru Obasa. So when Mudashiru Obasa was impeached, she took over. She served from that January 13th, a little over a month before the impeached Speaker, that Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, was reinstated. That was on March 3rd, 2025. You see, only 9 female speakers since the return of civilian rule 26 years ago. Very poor. Really, really poor. But you see, it's even better than other top political positions that have not even given women any chance at all. Now, the question is, how long will women wait for this change to happen? Or will it even ever happen? Especially since we have to rely on these men who also want these positions. So, women, I just believe that if we all come together, don't allow people come and do divide and rule. If we come together, present a united front, we'll be able to achieve something. Well, let me leave us to ponder on that. But while we're at it, let's just realize that time is of the essence. We just have 1 more year and then we enter political season. And if we are going to be guaranteed good representation in government, the time to start doing the groundwork is now. We need to start the groundwork now. If not, we'll only just be waiting for them to hand us position. Meanwhile, if we come together, we can do something. Anyway, I've said my own. Nigerian women, we just need to do better, honestly. You see, in Ghana, they just had their first female vice president, Jane Nana Opoku Ajimang. They have 276 members in their parliament. 41 of them are women. Now, you might say it's not a lot, but it's something as against our own. You see, Rwanda is just a model for the world when it comes to women representation. They have female majority in their parliament. with 63.75% in their Chamber of Deputies, which is like, Nigerian House of Representatives. And that's against the men's 36.25%. While at their Senate, that's Rwandan Senate, there are 53.8% women against the men who are 46%. Meanwhile, Nigerian Senate, 109, and we have only 4 women. You see, this is a big joke. Now, for emphasis, the 10th Assembly, the Senate has a member count of 109, and out of the 109, only 4 are women. 2 PDP, that's Natasha from Kogi, and Ipalibo Banigo from Rivers State. 1 APC from Lagos, that's the former Deputy Governor, Idiat Adigbili. And then 1 Labour Party, that's Ireti Kinkibe, representing Abuja. Those are the only 4 women. Meanwhile, as of now, 1 is even on suspension. So that means there are only 3. Now let's now go to the House of Representatives. Out of 360 members in the House of Reps, only 16 are women. Only 16 are women. So that means combined House, the Senate and the House of Reps, that's 469 members in total, right? Only 20 women in both National Assembly. 469, only 20 women. Don't you see that there is a problem here? Can't you guys see it? It has never been this bad. And women, we're not ready. When we are ready, we know what to do. But until then, when we continue to allow these men play us, to use us only for protest, but when it's time for the position, we're not there, I'm not sure we're ready for this conversation. Until then, tell me what you think. Am I overthinking this thing? As women, do we have a serious crisis at hand? Let's talk. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And let's meet in the comment section. I see you again in my next video. Bye.